manufacturing and high tech and that sort of thing, but agriculture is our largest #1 industry, and I'm trying to keep it that way in the state. And it's like a great industry, it employs a lot of people, and but we've got some real threats in agriculture. I'm really worried about losing our agricultural land, our prime land. As you can see here in Houston County, the development's taking up land, housing development, manufacturing development, and even solar fields. And somebody told me the other week, you know, in the next few generations, they're going to realize they can't eat those solar panels. And so I think long term, we got to take a look at preserving our productive farmland in our state. And I'm all about that. We've got some bills. We've got a conservation trust fund that we put some money in to go in and put easements on our agricultural land and protect that. We also looked at, have passed a bill to protect farmland around some of our military bases. We were looking, other parts of the country, foreign governments have gone in and bought land in vicinity of our military bases. And we don't want that to happen in Middle Georgia here or anywhere in our state. So we passed that bill. We got a lot of good things. Agriculture's looking good. We got a great peach crop this year, and I hope y'all will get some good peaches. And I'm busy and focused on that at the very moment too. Glad to be out of Atlanta.
Very good. Well, I'm looking at the clock, and we only have about 5 minutes. And y'all, I have 6 cards with 12-point font. So I feel like we've really only scratched the surface. So what I would like to do, and y'all can go in whatever order you like, I would like for each of you to just share what we haven't talked about yet that you really feel like would be a benefit to this group, because I probably have 15 more questions if I went through my list here. So who wants to start?
I'll start. Kudos to Bethany once again on her House Bill 880. That's been a priority of the 21st Century Partnership for years and years, and a priority for the Department of Defense. And I just want to reiterate, this will be the strongest spouse licensure protection, military spouse licensure protection in the country. So I serve on the retirement committee, and I worked on a couple of retirement bills. One of them I'm really proud of, both of them I'm proud of. But our school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, custodians, maintenance workers, they're classified employees under the school system, and they're not eligible for TRS, which is a very robust, nice, great retirement plan for our teachers. They're in what's called PSERS, or Public School Employee Retirement System. Their multiplier for years of service is $16 per year. I mean, $16.50 per year of service, which is just really a pittance. The state does fund that 100%. The local district doesn't fund any of that. I passed a bill to raise that to $17 to take the cap off of that, so the board that manages that retirement plan can give them COLAs in the future if the plan is healthy enough. And I also work hard with my colleagues to get $5.6 million in the budget to help these people. These folks are frontline workers keeping our schools open and safe. They work through COVID. You know, they're taking your kid to school and back home, and so they deserve this. So that is a real heartwarming thing I was able to do. And then I also got a bill for the sheriff retirement that we're going to have a signing ceremony on that Monday to allow the sheriffs to get COLAs on their retirement and increase their death benefit on their life insurance.
Very good. Thank you for that.
Skip to the other end here.
Sure.
No, we talked a lot. Is Mayor Walker still here? He's the president of GMA. I know he was here earlier, but president of GMA this year, and I know talking to Chairman Perdue and Mayor Patrick, we have a lot of discussion across the state about property tax, and many of our counties and different areas, not necessarily Houston, of course, but you know, really that number bounced up for homeowners. And so we were able to come together working with the Senate on a package that is really property tax relief, if you will. And it starts with a vote this November. You'll be able to decide whether we adopt a floating homestead exemption that would cap property taxes for homeowners. And if your locality, municipality, and county does not opt out of that, then you will also qualify for an additional penny in local sales tax that would further reduce property tax. And there are some safeguards built in to require local governments to do that. The cities, Mayor Walker, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 63+% of cities across the state of Georgia would be able to fully eliminate their property tax, which sounds like a pretty big deal to me. We're excited about that opportunity. It does that for, I think, as many as 12 counties and possibly more, Chairman. Is that fair to say? I think in addition to the fact that we were able to give an additional $1,000 deduction for every dependent in the state of Georgia, another $150 million tax cut, and that accelerated reduction in the rate that we're moving towards 499, and that overall $4+ billion of permanent tax relief year after year was some exciting stuff. It's really boring sometimes to talk about the details, but I'd also be remiss, if you don't mind me, April, I know we're short on time, but I think, Michael, and is it fair to say that Robbins is a software center of excellence? Is that the right terminology? Colonel Reese, the STEM Academy that we've already given a lot of talk about, but the partnership working towards that, again, Dr. Scott, the Board of Education, our higher education institutions, the members of the delegation, and I see former Representative Heath Clark back there and all his work that was focused on Robbins. But I think once again highlights our ability to kind of come together and work together on things that are good for Middle Georgia. And I hope we'll continue to hear from you about the kinds of things we can be doing moving forward. And I see Angie there. They have spearheaded that whole innovation project at the Development Authority. So thank y'all all for what you do. Thank you for having us today.
I'll be short. One of the bills that I was most proud of vote for, and we did it in short order. We passed it before the end of January in the House, is HB 30, anti-Semitism bill. And I'm just really proud we have a state that's not going to allow that in our state. I'm proud we got a chancellor, Sonny Perdue, that's not going to allow it on our college campus. And it got to be a very emotional bill. And I can't say much more about that. I'm proud that we're all on this stage voted for that bill. Not everybody in the House and Senate voted for that bill, and that gives me concern. But it's a great bill. It's a bill that will serve Georgia well. So, thank you.
One thing that I want to continue to look at is computer science education in our schools. In Houston County, we do a marvelous job with computer science and the technical things of the present and the future, and getting our kids ready for those jobs that we have now. But not everybody in the state has such a robust computer science program. And I want to make sure, all the kids in Georgia have what our Houston County kids have. And I can say we have a great program. My son is a freshman at an engineering school in Florida. The class average of physics for engineers is a 50, and he told me it was entirely a review from his physics class at HOCO. So he does not have a 50, which makes me happy. But I would like all of our kids in Georgia to have what we have in that realm in Houston County, because we really need to get everybody where we are. Anything, Clark?
Yeah, I know we're out of time. So there are a number of study committees that we typically have during the summer, and we've got several of those coming up. So the work continues, and that's not just a study about where we are, but it's also to try to look for what do we need to do next year in 2025. So please bring us your ideas, please continue to tell us what the needs are, where we need to do better. And for example, last thing that Chairman Blackman talked about, that this local STEM Academy, I want to thank the local, not only support, but initiative, and where those ideas came from, and the work that's already been done from that is not necessarily the folks up here, it's y'all that have done that at the local leadership level. Thank you for that. I think it simply proves that most of the great ideas come from home, that get transmitted up, and we're supposed to work on those for you, but it's y'all's ideas that inform us on what we need to do going forward, so thank you.
Thank you all so much. Y'all join me in giving them a round of applause. That's actually a perfect segue. So as I mentioned earlier, we know that you guys work hard under the Gold Dome and then out of session on legislative matters, but y'all run businesses, you're all involved in our community in a number of impactful ways, and we've got some literature on the table along with your giveaways, and I'm going to ask Representative Blackman if he will share a little bit about the Community Foundation of Houston County. I know he's involved with that initiative, and then I'll close this out real quick.
Well, thank you, April. I don't know if you know Julia Wood. Is Julia here? I don't know.
Yes.
It's okay. She is here. Thank you. But she has been the face here in Houston County, but this has been a foundation super successful in making Viv, and they have, I know Kathy O'Neill was here, she's still here, but has been a champion right next to, a real champion for this foundation here in Houston County, and it is an opportunity not to compete with other fundraising opportunities, but to augment those here and in a big way. So these faces are perfect to push that forward, and I really just wanted to encourage you to take a minute, read this, and if you can show your support, we would love to have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Julia and Kathy O'Neill and a number of the volunteers from the Community Foundation of Houston County, they're all familiar faces. They're going to be around at the end. I encourage you all to grab that information and talk to them about ways that you can be involved in supporting our future here in Houston County through philanthropic giving and the opportunities that will avail for other areas. Guys, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's always a privilege to see each of you here engaged and concerned about what's going on in our community and how you can be a part of that. You've got some great parting items, giveaways on your table from Terracon. I encourage you, as you grab those, please leave your name tag on the table or as you exit, so we'll have those ready for you next time. And speaking of next time, we've got a couple of big events coming up in the next 2 weeks that I hope are on your radar. Next week on the 7th, we're going to have Chris Clark with the Georgia Chamber down in Perry at the Muse for the New Georgia Economy, as we help them form the statewide strategic plan for what we need them as our state chamber focused on from a business perspective. So I hope that you guys can make that. It's in the newsletter that came out Tuesday if you haven't registered yet. And then the following week on the 15th, we're going to be right back here, and I hope that we have this many people here. We're going to be here for our Small Business Outlook. In addition to kind of an economic overview and drivers that are impacting businesses now and into the future, we have assembled a great panel, and we actually have a new addition, so you can see our presenters from the Federal Reserve Bank there. And then, of course, if you haven't heard Dr. Greg George, he's always a delight and just tells it like it is as far as our economic outlook. But Cosby Johnson with the Georgia Chamber will be here talking about the things that the Chamber is working on and that are on their horizon, impacting small business legislation that passed and that they are looking to champion in the future that will impact small business. And then our newest addition to that lineup is Jonathan Martin with Constangy Brooks. Guys, there are some very new and very important changes with classification through Department of Labor and some IRS reporting that directly impact small business. So you need to be in the room to find out what you need to be doing and how your chamber is working for you. So we hope to see you back here. There's a QR code there. There's also a handout on your table with registration information. So take that. I got a lot of commercial bankers in the room. If you've got small businesses, take a handful of them that you bank. Take a handful of them and give them, pass those along. But we do this programming for you guys. and to positively impact our business community. So if there's anything we as a chamber can do, I can't turn the cicadas off. I've gotten 4 calls this week, thinking it's an alarm, so I can't do that. But anything else, we are happy to talk with you. We're happy to take your call. Our legislators will be here for a few minutes, so make sure you come by, thank them, and always a pleasure to have you. We'll see you next time.